Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. Allie Quorum and Ken Shreve here with a breakdown of what went down in today's session. And in addition to the couple of names that we're going to look at, Ken's going to preview us here in a second. We'll also be checking in on Docusign, see if there's any action or reaction to the earnings report after the close. But Ken, what are the three stocks we'll be taking a look at today?
Yeah, modest gains for the major stock indexes, but three nice movers. Kind of a disappointing close for Mercado Libre. This is a leaderboard stock. We can take a look at that one. On the other hand, a bullish close for Unity Software, another leaderboard stock. And why not take a look at Denbury, oil and gas producer, which was the focus of today's stock of the day.
Okay, let's do that. First, checking in on the major indexes. Here's a look at the NASDAQ composite, finishing the day up about 0.1%. We had the S&P 500 up 0.3%, the Dow up 0.4%, and the Russell 2000 up some 0.6% for the day. So, yesterday it looked like we did see a bit of stalling. Can the same be said about today?
Well, it kind of had the feel of stalling, definitely. I mean, yesterday that was just a clear example of stalling because volume rose from the prior session. So yesterday the NASDAQ closed well off highs. It closed with a gain, but well off highs and higher volume. Today it looks like volume is going to be lower. So by definition, not a stalling day. And it looks like the NASDAQ managed to close around 1533. That still might be in the bottom half of its intraday range, but it won't be a stalling session because it looks like volume, came in lower than Wednesday.
Right. So not technically the definition, but after the huge gains that we've seen over the past 2 weeks, it makes sense that we might see the pace of gains slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, the market seems a little tired. I mean, on IBD Live this morning, we're going through screens, and it just seems to be an increasing, a larger supply of extended stocks, stocks that have gone, way far past buy points. This includes a lot of high-flying IPOs that seem to be, rising every single day. So the market looks like it could use a breather here. I know, some people have been kind of trimming back positions, maybe taking some partial profits. But yeah, 2 days in a row where the NASDAQ has shown stalling type action. So, wouldn't be a surprise to see a pullback at this point.
We'll keep an eye on it, and checking in on the S&P 500, notching another high, although closing off of its highs for the day. But again, just a steady climb that we've seen, pullbacks and support right where you want to see it at that 50-day line. And right now, it looks like the S&P closed roughly 3% above the 50-day line. So it doesn't seem like we're in too much danger in terms of being extended from the 50-day for a pullback, although the last time we pulled back, the S&P prior to that pullback had closed some 3.3% above the 50-day line. So maybe we are getting close to an area where we would be concerned about a pullback. What do you think?
Yeah, well, again, the S&P 500 today closed well off highs. It avoided a stalling session yesterday because volume fell from the prior session, and it looks like we had lower volume today as well. But yeah, the S&P 500 looks like it could take a breather as well. Again, when you're going through growth screens, you just have to listen to what the market is saying. When it gets harder and harder and harder to find buy prospects or stocks near proper entry points, you got to listen to the market's message and just kind of take a step back and watch the action from the sidelines and wait for the setups to come to you.
Right. And another indication of the strength that we've seen among growth stocks lately is a look at the IBD 50 ETF. Look at this, everyone, closing up about 1.5% for the day, and heavy volume coming in as well. But the move that this ETF that tracks the IBD 50 list of leading growth stocks, not just technology, across a variety of industry groups, has really picked up steam lately, breaking out of this choppy area that we have seen for the bulk of this year, Ken. So that is a very good sign about the momentum that we've seen for growth stocks. But again, if we've seen all of those buy points, if those are in the rear view window, that means a lot of them are now extended.
Yeah, and this is kind of a good visual representation of that. You can see just a tremendous move for the IBD 50 index over the past couple of weeks. Kind of a noteworthy day today for the FFTY exchange traded fund. It did hit an all-time high and looks like it closed right around the 50 level, but a nice setup here. And you look at the weekly chart. And you can see down at the bottom there are a couple of nice volume bars. So you're seeing some good volume behind the past last week's gain, and again this week's gain as well. Volume is already higher than what we saw last week. So very encouraging to see the IBD 50 and leading growth stocks performing very well here. Hopefully, people's portfolios are reaping the benefits of that. But you always need to just be cautious and understand how far your stock has come over what amount of time. And the market right now just seems to be a little tired to me, but certainly growth stocks are doing quite well.
Okay, well, let's check in on leaderboard name Mercado Libre, MELI. Like you said, not the best close, but still up 1.8% for the day, some above average volume. And really, since this earnings report, what has stood out is that nice volume behind the move to the upside.
Yeah, so when this company reported earnings a few weeks ago, and it gapped up close to the 1800 level, that's when we started a half position on leaderboard, and then we decided to increase it today up to 3/4. We increased it by a quarter position. That was kind of a disappointing close. There was good volume in Mercado Libre today, but this also showed a bit of stalling type action. Volume rose considerably from Wednesday, and it closed in the bottom half of its range. So still holding above that 1899.43 buy point, and we feel pretty good that it's a larger position in leaderboard. Would have liked to seen a close up near highs, but this was a very strong earnings move, and pretty clear add-on entry point here of 1899.43.
Yeah, and what about the potential add-on buy point for Unity, ticker U, another leaderboard name coming out of this cup with handle base, also on earnings. So the quarterly report, the catalyst there, the stock had a huge day today, up about 5%, volume doubled than that of average.
Yeah, this was another stock that we added on earnings when it kind of gapped above the 200-day moving average. That was a beautiful breakout from that cup with handle base and broke out over the left side high of 115.50. We started it as a half position, and because it was a bottoming
Right.
base, and the stock is still more than 20% off its high, we elected not to increase the position today. Although it was a very bullish session for Unity. We've been talking about this low volume summer doldrum period for the market, but there was pretty big volume in Unity today. You can see down at the bottom there, well above average, and this is just a classic example of what a stock under accumulation looks like. The initial breakout came in very heavy volume, then it was a low volume pullback, and then since then, you've seen some higher volume gains, including today's, where it closed up near its session high. So we're happy to keep it as a half position right now on leaderboard. We opted not to increase it today, only because we still think the stock could face some overhead supply issues as it continues to work its way higher again, because it's still more than 20% off its high.
And in the oil and gas sector, taking a look at Denbury, DEN up 5% for the day, slightly above average volume. But you can see again here, it's the blue volume that stands out on the daily chart here, and clearing a double bottom entry, today's stock of the day.
Yeah, so you can see when the stock initially pulled back down to the 61 level, rallied back up to 73.20, and then it came down again and it undercut the low. It hit that low of 60.45, and that undercut the prior low of 61.03. So that's what gives you the double bottom, and that when it hit a low of 60.45, that really serves to shake out sellers in the stock. And you can see it didn't take long for Denbury to start rallying again. So by definition, this is a double bottom base with the 73.30 buy point. Denbury, closed up near its high, pretty decent volume, considerably higher than what we saw Wednesday. And I was particularly encouraged how this stock held up well yesterday, because we had that pretty weak ADP private employment print, and a lot of oil and gas stocks in this group fell sharply. But you can see Denbury really didn't budge. It kind of held near that 70 level, closed off lows, and that set the stage for a nice move today. So based on that 73.30 entry, the stock looks very actionable at this point.
Okay, and now as promised, we will check in on Docusign with earnings out after the close. This is a name on leaderboard. And speaking of adding a stock to leaderboard on earnings, with that being the catalyst, that's what we did last quarter. And between that and a more recent add, the leaderboard up some 13% heading into earnings on an average cost basis. So warranting holding in to the quarterly results out tonight. And it does look like the stock is down less than 2% right now. That's the early reaction to the report. I don't quite have the numbers yet, but we will be keeping tabs on this one. And just a reminder to everyone that overnight action doesn't necessarily always transition to the trading session, the regular session, the following day. But Ken, what is your early thought on the reaction here?
Well, I like the close for Docusign today. First of all, it came down to its 50-day moving average, so buyers came in late and lifted the stock off lows. So right now, seeing the stock down 1.5%, 2% seems to be a fairly tepid reaction so far to earnings. We'll listen to the conference call, hear what the company has to say. A lot of people would argue this one is priced to perfection. The market is expecting very, very strong results, and there's no doubt that we probably got another strong quarter of growth. But how much of the good news was built into the stock? So we'll watch how it opens tomorrow under a little bit of pressure here. But the hope is that this is just going to respect its 50-day moving average, and probably going to base for a little while. And but it's really all about the conference call. If the company has encouraging things to say about an outlook, maybe we get a big bullish bounce with conviction off the 50-day line tomorrow. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see, and we will for sure be talking about this one tomorrow morning on IBD Live. So we hope you all join us, investors.com/IBD Live. And if you are a Swing Trader member, make sure to head on over to swingtrader.investors.com. We will soon be starting our monthly Swing Trader Scorecard webinar to talk about performance for the month, our strategies, trades, and to answer your questions. So we will see you there. Thank you, Ken, and thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you right back here tomorrow to cap off the week.